Who had the haircut first, me, you, or Andrew?
We actually just go to the same barber.
Yeah.
Barber hairdresser.
I am the tortured artist, but you've probably already heard of me. I'm unstable like a tightrope with too much slack. I'm troubled like the lone wolf, but no wolf pack. This is the frame of mind you frame me in. I would argue that I only have a few bad habits, but when it comes to crazy, you know me as full-fledged I am Vincent van Gogh. Sunflowers drenched in oil paint, a stoic self-portrait. They use this word tortured to describe me, but I've simply learned what a pair of critical eyes can do to your soul. How the tut-tuts and not good enoughs have caused kinks in my whiskers, fissures in my mind, and yet they say that I am the one destroying myself. But make no mistake in this. I've simply learned to live and make art with this grit that I was born with, and I will not wash my work in romanticism if it means that you won't be able to see me. If it means that I'll have to cut myself into bite-sized pieces, you can imagine how easily the coping comes in. How easy it was for my paintbrushes to find their way into my mouth, for me to chew on their painted tips like a second set of fingernails, to sip turpentine with my morning coffee, but I do not call it poison. I've simply learned to survive by painting starry, starry night on my insides. Maybe then their glimmer could keep me warm against the critics' cold bite. You may call this madness, but I call this my creative process. I call this the preservation of my greatness. I've spent far too much time in a star-studded darkness not to paint it, so do not mistake me for the madman. Do not mistake me for the insane or the answer or your false sense of power. I am a sunflower painted too picturesque for your eyes, so while you called it tortured, I called it mine. I have spent my entire life bleeding out onto the bedsheets of this world, and all you ever saw was my stain. A dried up mess that words like crazy could ever clean up. I've gone finger painting across every inch and space of sky, and I beg you to see my face among the masterpieces, to see my brilliance in this burning bush of brushstrokes I call my soul. I will warn you. The bullet will find a way to my temple one day. Some days, that's just how the story of the tortured artist goes. But when that day comes, when you find my body lifeless, I dare you to split my belly open. Tell me, will you see all of that swallowed oil and acid paint, or will you see the stars? Will you see all the stars?